Part 1. The Californian Dreamer. In the heart of California, where the sun kissed the Golden Coast, lived a man named Alex Thompson. Part 2. Neon lights and uneasy streets. Born under the endless skies of Los Angeles, he harbored a dream of prosperity, a dream that led him across the continent to the concrete jungle of New York. One fateful night, as the city's heartbeat pulsed through its dimly lit veins, Alex decided to unwind. The neon lights flickered as he walked the shadowed streets, the towering buildings casting elongated silhouettes that danced eerily in the dark. An uneasy feeling settled in, a whisper of caution that he brushed aside in pursuit of a night's revelry. Part 3. The Bar's Embrace. The bar, a haven for nocturnal souls, welcomed Alex with its dimly lit interior and the hum of conversation. The clinking of glasses and laughter became the backdrop to his evening as he immersed himself in the dance of strangers and the rhythm of the night. As the night wore on, with each sip of his drink, Alex became more entangled in the allure of the city. Conversations flowed, laughter echoed, and the dance floor became his stage. The bar became a sanctuary of fleeting connections and the intoxicating melody of a good time. Part 4. The Midnight Stroll. As the clock struck midnight, Alex, content from the night's festivities, decided to walk home. The streets, silent witnesses to countless stories, welcomed him under the muted glow of streetlights. Unbeknownst to him, the air held an inexplicable tension, a precursor to the horror that would unravel. In the solitude of the night, he strolled, immersed in the afterglow of laughter and music. The familiar streets felt comforting, yet an intangible fear crept into the edges of his consciousness. The city held its breath, and Alex, oblivious, continued his journey into the unknown. Part 5. The Labyrinth of Despair. Minutes turned into an eternity, and Alex, deep in thought, finally glanced at his watch. What should have been a brief walk felt like an endless odyssey. Panic seized him as he found himself in a neighborhood he couldn't recognize, a desolate maze of unfamiliar alleys and boarded-up buildings. A primal fear took hold as he desperately searched for a way out. Each step intensified the realization that he was lost, trapped in a labyrinth where the streets twisted and turned, refusing to reveal familiar landmarks. The doors, once open to the world, now stood barred, denying him escape. Part 6. The Car's Refuge. Desperation led him to a car, a relic abandoned in the eerie silence. Inside, he created a small refuge, a sanctuary from the encroaching darkness. The flicker of a fire danced within the confines of the car, offering a fragile sense of security. Drunk and exhausted, Alex succumbed to sleep, unaware of the nightmare that awaited him. The car, his fragile haven, became a vessel adrift in the river of his fragmented dreams. Part 7. The Rituals Symphony. As consciousness tiptoed back into Alex's world, he felt the oppressive heat. Opening his eyes, he found himself immersed in a surreal scene, a tribe of tribesmen, adorned in spiritual masks, engaged in a haunting ritual. The air pulsed with the rhythmic beat of their chanting. The music escalated, the tribesmen's movements growing more frenetic, and the chant transforming into a cacophony of voices that echoed in Alex's mind. A sense of entrapment enveloped him, the car transforming into a prison within the realm of the supernatural. Part 8. The Eternal Loop. Time lost its meaning as the ritual reached its crescendo. The car became a vessel adrift in an eternal loop, trapped within the boundaries of a nightmare. The tribesmen's chanting, now a symphony of despair, echoed through the surreal landscape. In the midst of this otherworldly dance, a deafening boom reverberated through the air. The world disintegrated into darkness, and everything faded to black, an abyss that swallowed both reality and nightmare, leaving Alex suspended in the eternal loop of horror. Part 9. Echoes of the Unknown. When consciousness returned to Alex, he found himself disoriented, as if the threads of reality had unraveled. The oppressive heat had been replaced by a chilling cold. He was no longer in the car, surrounded by the rhythmic chants and dancing tribesmen. Instead, he stood in a vast, desolate landscape. The sky hung heavy with shadows, and the ground beneath his feet felt unsettlingly solid. A distant echo of the tribal chants lingered, haunting him like a ghost. Part 10. The Desolate Realm. In this desolate realm, time twisted and turned in unpredictable patterns. The air was heavy with an otherworldly stillness, broken only by the faint whispers that seemed to emanate from the shadows themselves. Alex wandered, searching for something, anything, that could anchor him in this surreal nightmare. Yet, the landscape seemed to stretch infinitely, a featureless expanse that defied all sense of direction. Part 11, Faces in the Shadows. As he walked, faces flickered in and out of the shadows, faces he couldn't quite recognize, yet they tugged at the fringes of his memory. Each shadow seemed to whisper secrets, but the words eluded him like fleeting phantoms. The faces contorted, shifting from familiar to grotesque, as if mocking his attempts to grasp the reality of this strange place. Alex's sense of self wavered in the face of the spectral audience. Part 12, The Haunting Voices. From the shadows emerged haunting voices, whispers that slithered through his mind like serpents. They spoke of forgotten sins, of a past woven with threads of darkness that Alex couldn't comprehend. The voices seemed to know him better than he knew himself, and their revelation sent shivers down his spine. Dread filled his every step as the voices grew louder, echoing through the emptiness of this surreal purgatory. Part 13, The Shattered Reflection. In the distance, Alex glimpsed a mirage, a reflective surface that shimmered like liquid silver. Approaching it cautiously, he saw his own reflection, but it was fractured, distorted into grotesque angles. The mirror seemed to mock his fragmented identity, reflecting not just his physical form but the shattered pieces of his psyche. Each shard whispered a different truth, a discordant symphony of the self. Part 14, The Abyss Gazes Back. As Alex stared into the fractured mirror, a guttural sound echoed from its depths. The mirror rippled, distorting the reflections into monstrous caricatures. A pair of eyes, black as the abyss, stared back at him, a malevolent force that seemed to hunger for the essence of his being. The voices intensified, urging him to confront the darkness within. The abyss gazes back, and Alex stood at the precipice, teetering between self-discovery and the abyss that threatened to consume him. Part 15, The Labyrinth's Keeper. The eyes in the mirror held him captive, their gaze penetrating the very core of his existence. Time unraveled as the voices in his mind merged into a cacophony, urging him to navigate the labyrinth of his own soul. With each step, the labyrinth morphed, a shifting maze of memories, regrets, and forgotten dreams. Echoes of the past whispered through the corridors, revealing the choices that led him to this surreal purgatory. Part 16, Whispers of Regret. Faces from his past materialized in the labyrinth, their expressions a montage of joy, disappointment, and sorrow. These apparitions seemed to carry the weight of unspoken words, their silent pleas echoing through the twisted passages. Alex grappled with the whispers of regret, the labyrinth forcing him to confront the consequences of decisions long buried beneath the facade of a Wall Street life. The weight of his past bore down on him, an inescapable burden. Part 17, The Sinister Undertow. Deeper into the labyrinth, the air thickened with a malevolent energy. The shadows, once passive observers, now seemed to pulse with a sinister undertow, a force that sought to ensnare him. The voices grew more insistent, pushing him toward a revelation that lurked at the heart of the labyrinth. Alex's journey took on an ominous hue as the walls closed in, and the labyrinth's keeper revealed itself in glimpses of shifting darkness. Part 18, The Confrontation. At the labyrinth's center, amidst a swirl of shadows and fragmented reflections, Alex confronted the Keeper, a manifestation of his darkest fears and deepest secrets. The malevolent force, shaped by the choices he'd made, taunted him with the consequences of a life driven by ambition and blind pursuit of success. The Keeper's whispers painted vivid images of the collateral damage left in Alex's wake, a haunting legacy he could no longer ignore. Part 19, The Bargain. Desperation gripped Alex as he faced the Keeper. The voices, now a symphony of torment, offered a bargain, a chance to escape the labyrinth, but at a price. The Keeper demanded a sacrifice, a relinquishing of the very essence that fueled Alex's existence. Haunted by the shadows of Wall Street, Alex stood at the crossroads, torn between salvation and the abyss. Part 20, The Abyss Beckons. The labyrinth's walls closed in, and the abyss beckoned with a voracious hunger. In the face of an impossible choice, Alex hesitated, a moment that stretched into eternity. The voices crescendoed, the labyrinth pulsed, and the keeper's eyes bore into his soul. The decision hung in the air, a chilling echo in the emptiness of this surreal purgatory.